Whoa. Oh my God.
Hi everyone, thanks for being here. My name is Kat and I make houseplant videos here on Good and Planty. If you just happen to absolutely love this video, please consider liking it, commenting, subscribing, or following me on Instagram. All of these things help me grow my channel like a plant. Okay, I'm back after taking a week off and I figured we could do something fun today. It literally looks like I am sitting in the midst of a Monstera throne. We are propagating her today. And I'm very excited because this is the first propagation I am taking from this Monstera. I've been growing this plant for about 3 years now, so she is quite a bit mature. I'm getting a lot of more mature leaves up top, and I just figured it'd be a good time to propagate her for a friend, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through how I do that today. All you really need are a cutting thing. So if your Monstera is a little bit thinner, you can use just regular shears. I'm using a Swiss Army knife because the stems are a bit thicker, so it's gonna be a little bit harder to snip without proper shears. You can decide what cutting utensil works best for you. And then of course you're gonna need a vessel. I'm doing water propagation today. I'm just gonna fill this up with water when we get to that point and plop the propagation in here. You can also use sphagnum moss, or you can use perlite. It's totally up to you, but today I'm gonna be talking about water propagation. I'm gonna go ahead and move you a little bit closer to the Monstera now, just so that you can really see what's going on and I can show you exactly where I would cut this plant. So come on. All right, here is the Monstera Deliciosa a bit closer, and I want to talk you through my 3 propagation options here. I already know which one I'm going to propagate. I've thought about it beforehand, but I want to talk you through the process a little bit of how I decide. For option 1, if I follow her up, I would want to propagate her up here. The issue that I ran into this one is that these 2 nodes are very close together. I would either have to make a little bit of a risky cut like in the center here and try to just have this node, or I would have to cut her here and take a 2-leaf cutting in order to make sure that the node is fully intact and healthy and everything. This one is a little bit risky and I don't really want to take a 2-leaf cutting. That is not what my friend requested. This was one of the leaves on there. Sorry, she's a bit dusty. Ooh. But this was one of the leaves and this is the other leaf, but we are doing a 1-leaf cutting. For option 2, this one has a very clear area for a cut between these 2 nodes right here. The problem with this one is this leaf isn't super mature. I feel like I could give a little bit more of an impressive cutting off the baby. I also do want to give this growth point a little bit more time to mature before I go ahead and cut her and disturb her, because you can see between the 3, she is the shortest and the most juvenile. We're gonna let her chill out, rest, and grow. Now the third option, if I follow her up, I get in here. And this is a little bit similar to option 1, where these 2 nodes are very close together, but there is a little bit more room. It's a little bit more of a clearer cut. And on top of that, first of all, she will get a new leaf coming out of here when the plant is ready. And I can give her a very nice leaf that already has a fenestration in it. 2 fenestrations actually. So that's gonna be very beautiful. There's a little bit of imperfection here, but that's fine. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set you up. Aw, I think she's a little bit thirsty. Sorry, Monstera. Anyway, I'm gonna set you up and I'm gonna show you the cut basically. So let's get to it. Got my little handy dandy knife here. I'm gonna remove this that's holding it to the stake. And then I'm just gonna slide right in. I'm hoping that you can see this. It's kind of hard with all the leaves, but I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Actually, I might start from this end. Whew, we did it! Here she is. gorgeous leaf. I cannot believe it. Once you remove a leaf from the mama plant, I feel like you can really appreciate it a little bit more isolated, and just, wow. It's literally like bigger than my head. Anyway, I wanted to talk through a few things now that I have this cutting in front of me. One, get yourself some shears if you're gonna be cutting a plant this thick, because that was impossible. I also wanted to say I went a little bit different on the cut. I wasn't planning on cutting it exactly how I cut it, but I like that there was this aerial root here. I'm kind of torn between letting it vibe. It's also extremely long. I would have to cut it if I let it vibe. Or just cutting it off and kind of hoping that it will like encourage new roots to grow in the water. I wouldn't recommend such a mature aerial root getting just put into water out of nowhere. It might rot because that's not what it grew for. Didn't grow to be put in water. I haven't decided quite on that yet. You can see the node here. So we're good on that front, and there's about an inch below it, which is fantastic. That's usually what I try to do for my plants. On the mama plant, let me show you real quick. Oh, before I pivot the camera, the next step for this is to just let it callus for maybe an hour. And literally all that entails is that you put this on some kind of surface, like a table, and let the air do its thing on this little wound, because you don't want to put a fresh wound into a jar of water because it might rot, and I really don't want to risk it with this gorgeous cutting. So I'm gonna put her down, and let me show you the mama plant. Okay, this is what it'll look like when you're done taking a cutting. I went pretty close to this leaf. The hope here is that new growth will start to come out of here, like right here, or maybe even out on this node on the other side. Pruning and propagating your plants like this does encourage new growth because the plant feels under attack, so it wants to put out more of itself. So I'm hoping that cutting it will actually also help the mama plant. And on top of that, I really like where I decided to cut, because I think if I cut this leaf off, it would make the plant look very bare right now, because that was a larger leaf towards the back. I still kind of, I'm not really missing that leaf, even though it was a gorgeous leaf. There you go. That's a little info on the mama plant, because I know we all worry about the mama plants. And now I'm gonna check in with you when the plant is done callusing. Okay, besties, we're back. It's been a few hours, I got distracted. And this is what it looks like after callusing for a bit. It'll brown out a little bit. That's all you want to look for. I did end up cutting off the root quite a bit, so this is what the aerial root looks like now. And it's literally this easy. I filled up this jar of water, and I'm just gonna submerge the node in the water like so. This is a little bit of a tight container. Depending on how long the roots get, I might bump up the vase to be just a little bit larger to give room for root growth. But other than that, I'm going to let this plant chill out like this. Yeah, I'm gonna change out the water probably at least once a week, maybe every few days in the beginning, just because the wound isn't really like adjusted to being in the water. And now I have a pretty little flower. I don't know. And that's pretty much it, everyone. Easy peasy stuff. Once it grows out a little bit, you can just pot it up into your potting mix in a pot. I usually try to keep water propagations that are transferred to soil a little bit moist for the first week or so as it's adjusting to a new growing medium. It does not mean super wet, saturated soil, just lightly damp for 2 weeks, and you should be good to go. I'll probably wait for the roots on a cutting of this size to get at least a few inches long, just to make sure it's like really supported in the soil. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. Please subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed already and want to see more Planty content from me. Like this video, hit the notification bell, check out my merch, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Huge thank you to all of my members. Thank you to O'Neill, Val, Katrina, Audrey, Louie, Heather, _B, Jacqueline, Brooke, Daniel, Vanessa, Michelle, Tori, Candy, and Pam. You guys are the best, and I'll see you in my next video.